Support LaneSide. Get something cool.
Alright guys, welcome back. As always, I am the bearded beast, Rob Johnson, and today we are looking at the new Brunswick Endeavor. This is a new nameplate, new core, and a performance characteristics that we've been looking for a little bit from Brunswick. So why don't we take a look what we did with this ball here. First, look at these colors. This is gorgeous. Now, layout-wise, we didn't go too crazy with it. Now, we were looking at the core numbers on this, and saw it was a late hook, almost a burn ball, with an RG of 2.54 and a differential of 0.45. So I knew exactly where I wanted this ball to fit in performance-wise when it comes to drilling. So we went with a late hook layout, 5.5-inch pin to pap. Our mass bias that really doesn't exist here, but we placed it 6 inches to our pap, and we went with a 3-inch pin over line, which gave us a 2-to-1 ratio. So we knew this one was going to be fairly angular down lane. We're going to use that RG that we talked about to push this ball farther down lane than we've seen a lot of normal Brunswick balls go. Not since the Stellar have we seen these kind of core numbers. Most of Brunswick stuff is very low RG. So we know this ball is going to get farther down lane because it's harder to spin it up. Now, put that with the Activator 3.0 Plus Pearl cover stock. Fairly aggressive cover stock here as a Pearl. Very beautiful cover stock, by the way, Brunswick. Nicely done. It's a fairly aggressive Pearl, so we know this ball is going to be harder to spin up. It's going to get farther down lane. It's going to get through when they get beat up in the front of the lane, but it's still going to have a lot of pop down lane. But rather than listening to me posit on what this might do, why don't we take a LaneSide and see how it stacks up?
And we find ourselves once again down on the lanes with your resident two-hander. That'd be me, the bearded beast Rob Johnson. And we're looking at, as I said, the Endeavor from Brunswick. Check out that crazy core in the bottom left-hand corner. It is hexagons upon hexagons upon hexagons, kind of turned and swirled, making that higher RG medium differential ball. Now, what surprised us, or myself, was that this actually isn't an HK22 ball. This is just the Activator 3.0 Plus Pearl. So even though it is that pretty, it looks like one of those HK pretty balls. This is actually just the Activator 3.0 Pearl. I say that, but it has actually a ton of performance. Now, put together with that core, when we talk about RG, I believe it was Mark Baker and Chris Barnes. They did kind of an informal study about RG, and they realized that for every about 3 to 4 points of RG, you can add 3 to 4 feet. So, ooh, look at that. That hooked a lot. Way more than I was expecting. So when I'm building my arsenals, especially for players, I look at using RG to push around where the ball is going to spin up, how hard it is to spin up, how easy it is to spin up when we're addressing patterns. So for this ball, a higher RG ball is harder to spin up. It's like a figure skater who, put their arms out really wide and they spin really slowly, but when they pull their arms in, they spin a lot faster. There we go. There's a strike with it. I moved about 3 or 4 boards here, just to let you guys know from my normal benchmark area. So we're using that RG to push the ball down lane, push it through when it sees the track or lane damage or early friction, or especially early friction when lanes are getting chewed up. We're trying to get that ball to just not quite spin up as early. It goes just a little bit farther down lane. It has just a little bit more energy. More energy at the break point, of course, means that we can get it to create some much larger angles of entry. And if you don't believe me, how about 3, 2, 1? Who's your daddy? Yeah, look at that. That 9-pin's my daddy. That's who. You can see we've put together a very strong pearl cover stock and that 5.5-inch pin to pap. So we know this ball is going to be very hockey stickish already. So we're putting all these things together to complement what the ball is supposed to do. See, we've got a hockey stick shape. Our machine goes boom again. We've got a fast response cover stock and a ball that's going to have more energy down lane. That gives us the best opportunity to really open up the lane and create some interesting angles of entry. Now, if you're asking about what's going on with the machine here, why the machine go boom, during this review, check this out. Doesn't quite get it back. I tried to forward roll it there. During this review, we blew a solenoid in the back. For you mechanics who know what a pain in the butt that is, poor Nick had to run down and actually be there to press reset and get it to trigger to pick up the pins. So Nick is actually in this video. You just can't see him. He's hiding there. So thank you, Nick, for taking such good care of us here. But you can see we put all those things together to complement the fast response cover, the more energy down lane. Now we can take advantage of it. We can move left as if, the lanes have forced us left, and we've got a defined friction point to the right. We can create super angles by just trying to throw the ball to the friction. See? This is why we put different types of balls in different people's bags. If you guys go back and look at when we were doing arsenals, here I am left-handed, of course. When we were doing arsenal construction, I use a chart. Very low RG balls, very high RG balls. They have a purpose in the bag, and this one is spot on. Brunswick has really, really done a good job. Especially for those rev dominant and two-handed bowlers who need the ball to get down lane. Now here I am with my Rattler. Every company has a ball similar to this, similar cover and core dynamics, maybe not exact, but at least we can compare things apples to apples. But this is not apples to apples. This is apples to rocket ships. And if you don't believe me, once again, here you go. Look at that. I am at least 3 to 5 boards deeper with my feet. The ball is going out 7, 8 boards, maybe more, farther right to the friction, but it's also getting farther down lane. Watch this. So it's getting farther out. That's on the 2 board. Yeah, let's say, conservatively, let's say the 3 boards. So that's a lot of area to cover. And let's watch it again here from the lower level. We've got the Rattler. And this is the kind of motion you want out of your benchmark. Very controllable. You want to continue with something that you can keep in front of you that's not going to overhook when it sees friction. The Endeavor, however, is the ball that you want when you know that you have a defined friction point that you can throw it to and you want to open the lane up. Now look at this. More total motion. Even though it's a big sweeping, I've got air quotations going on, sweeping symmetrical, this is a very fast response ball down lane. It's creating a much higher angle of entry. And look at the carry. Look at the way it goes to the pins. Very, very deep through the pocket. So if you're looking for something that's going to be ultra clean and a ton of angle down lane, I guess you don't have to endeavor any farther. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a show. So until next time, guys, we'll see you LaneSide.